everyone. Before I start my presentation, I want to ask one question. So, who is searching for your job? And who has
Just kidding.
and who has not yet found one? So most of you have to find a job. But what if a great economic recession happens and nobody finds a job?
I will cry.
Unemployed.
I will cry.
Yes. So, but I'm not kidding because that may happen. What causes it? My answer is the shale gas revolution. So today, as an ERE concentrator and the person who has worked in the Japanese Energy Agency, today I want to talk about the shale gas revolution, but how it started by technological innovation, how the situation changed after the financial crisis, and how it may cause a future financial crisis. So let's start from the dawn of shale gas. It started from a small oil and gas company in Houston. In 1998, George Mitchell, engineer for Texas A&M University, succeeded in producing shale gas. He combined the traditional technique, which is horizontal well and hydraulic fracturing. So horizontal well is like this. I mean, traditional wells, you just dig the ground vertically, but for the horizontal well, you first drill the well vertically, but then you curve it and then make it horizontally to dig along this shale rock plate. So this is the first technique. And the second one, George Mitchell invented how to fracture this rock by hydraulic pressure. So these are traditional techniques, but he successfully made it possible to produce a shale gas by combining these two technologies. So this is how the shale gas revolution started. But actually the situation changed after the financial crisis on 2008. What happened? Surprisingly, the shale gas production increased by 3 times. Why did that happen? After the financial crisis, the financial market collapsed, but the monetary relaxation policy created some excess money in the market. And this money sought for a better investment with higher yield and flew into the oil and gas market. So investors thought that shale gas is going to be the next promising industry for investment. And as a result, this is the amount of bonds in the market. The bonds for oil and gas companies was only $10 billion at the beginning of 2000, but it increased into $80 billion at the end of 2014. Most of them came from shale gas companies, and 30% of them are junk bonds, which means they only receive low rank from Standard & Poor's, and surprisingly, 83% of them are owned by American financial investment banks. But the problem is that after the oil price fell in 2014, most of these shale gas companies are not paying off, which means these junk bonds may not be redeemed at the maturity date. So what happens if the investors don't get the redemption? Maybe the financial crisis like in 2008 might happen again, because that was caused by the real estate junk bonds, like this, which is similar to this situation. So let's hope not the financial crisis happens again. And so in my conclusion, the traditional technology, the hydraulic fracturing and the horizontal well made it possible to initiate the shale gas revolution. But what really changed the situation is that this the financial crisis and the situation after the financial crisis, which made possible for the shale gas companies to get enough investment from the market. And in the future, because the oil price is still low at this point, maybe this bond may not be possible to pay off, and financial crisis again. So that's my point. Thank you for your attention, and I'm now open to Q&As. Is it too short?
No, it's up to 5 minutes.
I have one question. So, how do you think of peak oil?
Peak oil.
Yeah, because I mean, even though there will be shale gas revolution, I don't think it cannot outweigh the lack of our energy consumption and running our energy.
Okay, so there's a famous theory called resource pyramid. Maybe ERE concentrators maybe have heard about that. This is easy oil with low cost, medium, difficult. And this size means the amount of resources. So easy oil is the most scarce one. This one, I mean, shale gas is like here. Like, what is this? Right. So when you go down to the pyramid, bottom of the pyramid, the cost gets higher, but there's more amount of resources. But remember, it's higher cost than the easy one. So it depends on the oil price. I mean, if the oil price maintains high, these like shale gas is originally here. These guys can be commercially feasible, but if the oil price is low, then only these guys can pay off. So it really depends on the demand and supply and the price defined by that market situation.
Thank you.
But if shale gas becomes cheaper,
Yes, that's what happened, but shale gas is still slightly more expensive than real easy gas, just like stick the straw into the ground. It's really cheap. And it keeps, like, for example, the gas field in Qatar continues producing, like...
where's natural gas on that? Where's natural gas on that?
I mean, all of them are natural gas and oil, but it depends on how they are reserved.
Okay.
Easy oil is like a pool underneath the surface, and basically what you have to do is just stick the straw and gas and oil comes out. But the shale, I mean, maybe you mix up with gas and oil, but it's basically the same thing. The shale gas and oil it's called unconventional. Why it's unconventional? Because it's not like a pool. It's distributed along the shale rock that I just wrote here. It has a pretty good amount of resource, but you have to collect
dig for
it
it.
like this,
Yeah.
along this
Okay.
horizontal. That's what makes it expensive.
Thank you.